Welcome back in. We thank you so much for staying with us. NASCAR driver Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is joining us right now.
Ricky is getting ready for NASCAR race weekend in Talladega happening at the end of the month. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me. It's always cool to come into market beforehand and talk about the upcoming weekend. We get a little bit of an off weekend right before coming to Talladega, so all of us drivers and teams are going to be amped up and ready to get back in the car and go racing April 27th.
It's going to be great. So we know that Talladega is where you got that first Cup Series win in 2017 and then where you also won in 2024. So how special is this racetrack to you?
It's special. It's obviously we're right next to my home state of Mississippi. So, this is my home racetrack. Got a lot of friends and family that come out to this event. And get your first win here is always special. So anytime you kind of come back to that. And now we're, the defending winner of the fall race. So we're looking to go back to back. Make it 2 in a row at Talladega, and we'll have a good shot at it. Our team's, bringing me great race cars to the racetrack, and would love to, be in victory lane again. Talladega's done an awesome job giving fans access to, a brand new garage area to come hang out in, see our cars, and also, when you pull into victory lane, all the fans are right there as well. So definitely a cool experience, and hope the fans come out and see it.
And Ricky, you've had some really, really close finishes in Talladega. That's what the track's known for. What's that adrenaline like as you get near the finish line?
Nerve-wracking. Obviously we're super fast racetrack at Talladega. You're wide open. And, as you can see, the excitement of when you finally win, the guys are pumped. I get excited for my team. They put a lot of hard work into it. I get to drive it, obviously. But, you're inches apart. Talladega is very unique in where the start-finish line is. It's not directly in the center of the front straightaway. It's closer down to turn 1. And so, the fall race, I'm, every lap towards the end of the race, I'm making sure that I am leading the race at the start-finish line, and so you continue to do that as the laps are winding down, making sure you get pushes from the people behind you, and try and time that out. But the intensity ramps up very high at the end of these races.
Oh, I bet. So let's talk about some of your seasons, because you've really had some incredible ones. The 2023 season, though, it started with you winning the Daytona 500 and then getting into the playoffs. Talk about that.
When we start the seasons, it's all about, the very first race is Daytona 500, our Super Bowl of the sport. And that's what everybody focuses on. Once you leave Daytona, it shifts to how do you make the playoffs. So if you can win the Daytona 500, you generally make the playoffs. So for us, we've had a strong start to this season. We want to replicate that, making the playoffs like we did in 2023. We had a great season at a lot of racetracks throughout that year. So, we got Bristol coming up this weekend. Trying to look for some momentum headed into our off weekend so we can come into Talladega. Hopefully, if we don't win Bristol, get our first win of the season, lock ourselves into the playoffs, and see if we can replicate, going back to victory lane.
So far, 4 Career Cup Series wins, 2 at Daytona, 2 at Talladega. What's your approach when it comes to both of those super speedways?
There's a lot that go into super speedway racing, and it seems like it continues to evolve. And, a lot of strategy comes into it. How do you stay up front, still save a lot of fuel so that your pit stops are faster when it comes down to the end of the race? And I feel like that's what won us that Talladega race in the fall was we spent less time on pit road than anybody else. And so therefore, when we did have a big wreck at the end.
Right.
I was out front, missed the wreck, and was able to hold everybody off, come late in that race. So, for me, it's been a lot of confidence. Since I got my first win at Talladega in 2017, you just have a lot more confidence when you come to these racetracks, and especially when you get down to the end of the race, whether you can make the right, moves or not, you just feel more confident doing that.
Absolutely. This has been a lifelong journey for you. I was looking some things up, and you've been racing in some capacity since you were 6 years old.
Yes.
What is it like to be on the NASCAR stage?
Now,
yeah.
so,
What's it like to be on the NASCAR stage?
It's huge. Yeah. As a young kid, I wouldn't say I dreamed of being in NASCAR. Yeah. I just wanted to race for a living. And so I grew up racing dirt cars, and, I still get to go back and race my Nelson Energy Drink sprint car, which I'll do Talladega weekend on Friday and Saturday night. But for me, just racing for a living, I've been racing, BMX since I was 3, dirt bikes at 4, and go-karts at 5. So it's just a dream come true. Going to be a great weekend. Talladega is a full spectacle for fans. You got Saturday, you got the ARCA Menard Series race, the NASCAR Xfinity Series race, followed up by a Justin Moore concert. So it's a full weekend. Make sure you come out for the whole weekend.
It's going to be a wonderful experience.
We hope you have a great race out there at Dega.
Wish
Oh
all
yeah,
the best.
it's always a good time.
We do want to invite you to join us at 4 p.m. April 25th. We're going to have a special newscast just devoted to NASCAR and that big
Perfect.
race. So we invite you to join us then. Also, you can catch the Xfinity race Saturday on our sister station. It's going to be this 26th on the CW. All right, thank you again for being
Thank
here.
you.
We're glad to have you here. All right.